too, yeah.
Yeah, congratulations. We're going to have you back. I can't promise a crowd. All right, next up on the agenda, Superintendent Robinson. How about a round of applause for Superintendent How are we doing tonight?
Very well.
Thank you very much.
So recognize that the kids have assessments to go home and study for. I'll be very brief. First of all, as usual, thank you very much for the opportunity to come and talk about the school budget. And I have to apologize, Mrs. Stevenson. We have actually a Meet the Candidates night tonight at 7:30 at high school. So let me start to the end. And we have 4 candidates running for the Board of Education this year. One of those candidates, Mrs. Stevenson, Deanna's here. Deanna Stevenson serves out as our current Vice President of the Board of Education. She's running for a 2nd term. We also have Gary DeLallo, who's our longest serving board member, who's running for his 7th term on the board. We have Todd Gilbert, who will be running for his 3rd term on the board. And we have a newcomer, Ram Lilakota, who's running for the 1st term. So we have 4 people running for 3 seats. So we have a contested election as well. So I know Mrs. Stevens is going to walk out because I'm going to be rushing behind her for the Meet the Candidates night at 7:30 at the high school. So I start there. So that's one proposition. The second proposition we have on the budget this year is our bus propositions. As most people probably know, if you live in the Shen District, we have a lot of buses on the road at the same time. In fact, right now we're up to 208 buses leave the bus port every morning, and we go about 1.9 million miles a year picking kids up. So when you think about it, it's a lot of buses, and this year's proposition is to replace 20 buses. We try to keep our industry average around 7.5, 8 years before it becomes too costly to keep maintaining them after a certain period of time. So we certainly have that proposition on the bus. The main proposition is the budget itself, and I'll start with the really, really good news. It's all good news, but the really, really good news. The tax impact this year, our tax rate, the rate that we use to calculate for tax bill for 1920 is actually going to be lower than the tax rate for currently 1819. So what does that mean? It means if your house value stays exactly the same, next year you'll be paying less taxes as a result of the tax rate reduction. So that's one good news about the budget. Just a couple highlights. Again, this newsletter you have in your hand, most people should start getting these newsletters now at the households. We sent out about 35,000 newsletters to the various households within the Shen District. Just some quick highlights, again, not to use too much time. And I just want to focus on the theme of this year's budget because I'm putting in context. Relevant, responsive, and responsible. And why you think that? When you think about it, here we are sitting in the class of 2019. These young people are sitting here, and next year the class of 2020. Back some years ago when I threw out the idea we're going to do this 2020 vision back in 2006, most people thought I was crazy, saying, why do you think about 2020? Well, the reason why we're thinking about 2020 is because we had those members of class of 2020 in our schools. And so right now, my focus is on actually 2030. And so when you think about 2030 are our first graders. So the class of 2031 are kindergartners. And so we have to think then as a school district, how do we ensure that we keep relevant in what we're doing, not only supporting the existing need, even the seniors who are here scrambling to do their last assignment. And also how we're responsive to the future and growing needs of our school community. So this budget speaks to a lot of that. So we try to support the various needs of kids across the board in this budget. Again, it's one of those budgets where we don't have any one big thing. It's a lot of small things to try to support the various needs of our students, and we're pretty pleased of it. The budget increase is going to be 2.33. Our average is 2.1, so right around the average mark. As I said before, the tax impact, if house values stay flat, will be actually a reduction. And I think for the past couple of years, several years, most people in the town of Clifton Park, Halfmoon in particular, have seen pretty flat line, in some cases reduction in the overall tax bills. And that's by design, because as the valuation in the towns become such, we try to make sure that we maximize it in the sense that we provide quality services, but we don't take advantage of it in terms of unfairly taxing our taxpayers. And so kudos to you as a governance body for all you do to make this town a very vibrant place, because it's a reciprocal relationship. People move here because of the schools, people move here because of the town. If one of those things are out of whack, people make different decisions. So it's important that those alignments are always in place. So I'm always pleased to come here and discuss the budget with you. Again, recognizing that's going to be a really long meeting tonight, and I don't want to contribute to it for our young folks. And I do have the time constraint of trying to get to this other piece before they get started. I'll pause there if there's specific questions you have. This newsletter gives a pretty good layout of it. We also have a lot of details on the website for those people who really want to comb through all the budget codes as well. So the big date is important for people to come out and vote. That's a big concern we have because our vote counts keep going down. I don't know what's in the town, if you've seen those kind of downward trends in terms of people simply not voting. And so we want to promote people come out on May 21st. To our students who are at age 18, you're eligible to vote on the school budget. It's a great budget, great time to do a first vote because it's a very simple process. And we want to encourage our youngsters to then vote in June for the primaries, in June vote. That's another opportunity for young people to vote as well. So certainly May 21st is a big date for us. So I pause if there are questions that you have. I'll be more than happy to address them.
Yeah, May 21st, and the polls are open.
From 7 to 9, 7 a.m. in the morning to 9 p.m. in the Gowanus Middle School gymnasium. And we try to have a wide window so people come before work, during work, after work, because this is a very important process for the entire community.
Exactly. And I think your point about a growing tax base is very important because in a community like ours with a growing commercial tax base, such as you see at Exit 9, just for one example, is very important to the overall tax situation, particularly with the school district, but also with the town. The town does not have a general fund property tax that we assess to each home. But it does assist with other areas of taxes, such as the highway tax. But a growing tax base is very important. You see, unfortunately, we see it all the time in headlines in the newspapers. A school district, a library, a town, city, village, double-digit tax increases. You've seen it more and more, 10%, 12%, 15%. Not far down the road, there was one, I think it was over 30%. You're not seeing that here